My name is Amelia Conley. I'm the Research Data and Access Director at the Ehlers-Danlos Society, and I'm pleased to present to you today about the DICE, EDS, and HSD Global Registry. The Ehlers-Danlos syndromes are a group of heritable connective tissue disorders caused by genetic changes that affect connective tissue throughout the body. Each type of EDS has distinct diagnostic criteria. However, some features are seen across all types of EDS and HSD, while others are not. Because of the challenge this presents clinically, these conditions have long been incompletely understood, with many patients facing years or decades without diagnosis or adequate management. The Ehlers-Danlos Society was originally established as a nonprofit organization in the United States in 1985 as the Ehlers-Danlos National Foundation, or EDNF. This organization was formed by Nancy Rogowski, and EDNF filled a deep void for patients living with these deeply misunderstood and underdiagnosed syndromes. Nancy's quest to learn and to spark hope in others grew over the years into volunteer efforts, initiative, and support of thousands to transform our understanding of Ehlers-Danlos in its many forms. As a result, the Ehlers-Danlos Society emerged in May 2016 as the first truly international organization devoted entirely to global EDS and HSD research, education, and engagement for patients, caregivers, and medical professionals. I share Nancy's story today because it is in the very spirit of her work that the DICE registry continues today. Part of why registries are such powerful tools in rare disease research is because one participant's experience can make a big impact. Our efforts reflect a shared hope through science, something I imagine many of you may recognize in your own organizations. Research portfolio at the Society spans a wide variety of clinical and academic research areas, including genetic and proteomic research, registry and biobanking, as well as care delivery and implementation science. The DICE registry is a global, patient-centered collaborative research tool that accelerates research in EDS, HSD, and their related conditions. This builds off of our previous registry work and is one of the primary pillars that supports our mission in the research department. With participation from dozens of countries representing the rare and ultra-rare types of EDS, the DICE registry is uniquely situated as a catalyst for work in biomarkers, diagnosis, management of EDS, and the mapping of experiences and pattern recognition among comorbidities and other related conditions. Because the science and understanding of EDS and HSD are evolving quickly, we had a particular need to create a registry that was dynamic and could serve as a launching point for additional investigations in a variety of topic areas. Challenges in collection, data quality, and data sharing are yet not unique to rare disease. However, in this context, where so many participants face a diagnostic odyssey, these delays have amplified consequences and contribute to further challenges like misdiagnosis and inadequate management. As we began our registry work, we recognized that global registries were less common than national or regional registries. But even so, we prioritized a global reach in order to serve our community throughout the world and to provide data that's useful across a variety of health systems and clinical settings. Our DICE registry launched in 2023, and it was designed by clinicians and community advisors. We host our registry on REDCap and is presented as a series of clinically validated surveys that are administered in a format suitable for a lay audience. Historically, registries are established locally or in a multi-site structure, often pulling directly from the electronic health record to populate a database. However, EDS and HSD experience significant gaps in clinical understanding, diagnostics, and note-taking, and that lack of standardization created an environment where the historic registry infrastructure would not deliver the level of rigor suitable for robust global research. To overcome this, our approach bypasses clinical health record as the data source altogether, and instead engages with patients directly. This slide shows the flow of participants through the DICE registry. First, they complete an e-consent before progressing through 4 primary surveys that cover topics such as demographics, genetic testing, family history, and a review of symptoms, comorbidities, and interventions. After completing the primary surveys, participants are invited to engage in additional surveys or studies based on eligibility. Branching logic is used to present or hide questions based on previous responses, which reduces survey fatigue and irrelevant data. We also have infrastructure that supports updating of key information as needed, and researchers who apply to use our data are able to recruit study participants through the DICE registry. Through bypassing structures that collect health data through a passive background process, our approach was designed with the input of both clinicians and patients. The DICE registry populates a rich, contextualized dataset that allows for deep exploration of patterns that may not have been visible through automated data pulls. A previous version of our registry was established in 2019 in partnership with a third party who provided the data collection infrastructure. Over time, the need for us to develop our own platform became clearer. This decision was in no small part to provide greater control and responsiveness to the content and design of the registry surveys. It also allowed us to increase transparency for satisfaction of our international compliance obligations. A significant change our organization noticed upon hosting our own registry, as opposed to one that's hosted externally, is the increased customization, adaptability, and scalability we're now able to offer. As a result, we've enrolled more than 7,000 participants in the DICE registry. The foundation of our work with the registry is a secure data collection and access infrastructure for both our participants and researchers. Without this, we wouldn't be able to meet our compliance obligations, and the global nature of our work would be undermined. By hosting our own infrastructure, we have the flexibility to develop large, complex database structures that meet our unique needs. Hosting our own infrastructure does come with its own resource needs, and those needs are important considerations for any organization contemplating a launch of their own database. Considerations for administration and maintenance of the infrastructure are necessary, as well as the significant validation work that's required to ensure appropriate data quality. In our DICE registry, all data undergoes routine checks, both manually and through automated process through REDCap. Tools such as the Registry Evaluation and Quality Standards Tool, or REQUEST, provide standards for registries such as ours, and REDCap's configuration and functionality enable us to assess our configuration against these metrics to ensure that we're performing as we intend. DICE registry data is available to approved researchers with the aim of advancing research in EDS, HSD, and their related comorbidities. Researchers request one of 3 levels of access to registry data, and after an approval process, data can be released to them. Sharing of de-identified data and pseudo-anonymized data within a fixed scope is covered in the e-consent structure that participants complete when they join the registry. Data that exceeds that scope or level of identification is only released with explicit consent from the participants, which is facilitated through direct communication via the REDCap platform. Researchers may also request a study invitation to accompany their data request. The DICE registry team facilitates this communication and routes interested participants to the appropriate external resource. In our first year, we accepted more than 10 research applications across a variety of topics. Data requests are open to all research areas, and in the future, we may expand our application structure to include access to paired data that would allow researchers to explore tissue sample analyses or lived experience testimonies alongside the registry's phenotypic data. When a participant is eligible for supplementary surveys or studies, they receive their invitation through REDCap. They opt in or out after reading information about the study, and researchers' data reports include only members who have opted in. This highlights our collaborative spirit while ensuring the highest standards of privacy and data protections. When we created the DICE registry, Our goal was to champion and prioritize a patient-centered design. Collaboration between researchers and the EDS community plays an important role in accelerating EDS and HSD research, and DICE allows us to do that in a scalable, compliant way. What we've learned with our registry is that our patient-centered design provides insights and nuance of these conditions that is extremely valuable in the current research landscape. We've built flexibility and responsiveness into our infrastructure, and that has prepared us well to engage with a quickly evolving landscape. As we look ahead, some goals we are working towards that are particularly exciting are expansion into additional languages, exploring opportunities for integration and interoperability, and the design of an RFA type structure to invite data requests on our research priority areas. We're excited to continue building this program and delivering a high-quality tool for EDS and HSD research around the world. Thank you very much for allowing me to present and share our DICE registry with you today. I welcome you to reach out if you have any questions or comments on the presentation, or if you would simply like to learn more. The contact details on this slide are included for your convenience. Thank you very much.